SkyGuardian, you recommend that we read from another section of the Vachanamrut. Yes, that's a good idea. Let us take a short interim as we read from this relatively recent spiritual scripture. Most spiritual scriptures seem to be hundreds to thousands of years old, but the ones arising from the Swaminarayan tradition, which we'll read today, are from the turn of the 19th century. Today we are reading Gadhadā 149 on a concept called Antardrashti, which we'll have to see what it means. We can always ask Mataji. This text is Vaishnava in nature, which is a dualistic approach to spirituality that centralizes in the devotion of Vishnu or other forms such as Sri Krishna, which is very specific, but yet a very large sect in Hinduism. Anyway, on the evening of Maha, Sudhi the 14th, Samvat 1876, or the 29th of January 1820 in our calendar, Swami Sri Sahajanandji Maharaj, one of the names of Swaminarayan, was sitting on a large decorated cot on the platform under the neem tree in front of the mandir, the temple, the house of worship of Sri Vasudeva Narayan in Dada Khachar's Darbar in Gadhadā. 2 small oil lamps were lit in front of him. He was wearing a garland of yellow flowers around his neck, and strings of yellow flowers decorated both wrists. He was dressed entirely in white clothes. At that time, an assembly of munis, as well as devotees from various places, had gathered before him. Then Sriji Maharaj said, "Please begin a question-answer dialogue." Thereupon, Brahmanand Swami asked, "Why is it that our vritti, our thoughts, remains on that source energy God only as long as we forcibly keep it there, whereas it remains on worldly objects without the slightest effort?" It's a good question. Sriji Maharaj replied, "The vritti, the thoughts of a devotee of God, never remains on anything except God. In fact, their only concern is, it will be very difficult for me to keep my vritti on worldly objects. Thus, a devotee of divinity finds it difficult to keep their vritti on any worldly object, while a worldly person finds it difficult to keep their vritti on God. Therefore, a person whose vritti does not remain fixed on God is not a devotee. Nevertheless, if they attend satsang, a gathering of truth, they will gradually become a devotee by listening to the talks of the sadhus." The monks. Brahmanand Swami then asked further, "By what means can one keep one's vritti on God, their thoughts?" Sriji Maharaj explained, "The means to achieve that is Antardrashti." Literally, Antardrashti means to look within or to introspect. But here, Sriji Maharaj gives his own unique definition. Antardrashti is to constantly look towards the form of the manifest divinity that one has attained. Besides that form, even if one sees the 6 chakras, which I'm sure you have all heard, but as a footnote I'll read anyway, the 6 chakras are the 6 centers of spiritual power and consciousness located within the inner body, the subtle body. They are Agna, Vishuddha, Anahat, Manipur, Svadishtan, and Adhar. Each has its corresponding location and presiding deva, deity. So besides that form, even if one sees the 6 chakras or Golok, Vaikuntha, or other planes of existence of God, it should not be considered to be Antardrashti, introspection. Therefore, to look at God's form that one has beheld within one's heart, or to look at the form of God visible externally, is known as Antardrashti. However, whenever one's vritti, their thoughts, stray apart from God's form, is all Bhyadrashti, which means to look outwards, and is the antonym of Antardrashti. Sriji Maharaj then told the Paramahansas, the great saints, please arrange yourself into pairs and begin a question-answer dialogue. Thereafter, the Paramahansas conducted a question-answer session amongst themselves for quite some time, through which Sriji Maharaj examined their intelligence. Thus we come to the end of this passage. So thank you for listening. And I love that at the end, getting everyone to engage in a question-answer dialogue with each other. It's one of the key aspects for understanding in Sanskrit called manana, which means debate. You have to chew on an idea in order to understand it. It requires intellectualization. So, thank you for listening with me as we did that interim. And thank you, Lee, for your 98 roses you sent as we read Hari Om Tat Sat.